My name's Grace, and I'm 31 years old. A few months ago, I learned one of the hardest lessons in life. Sometimes, you have to walk away from someone you love when it feels like you're drowning in a relationship. But let me rewind and tell you how everything went from perfect to broken. When I met Lily, it felt like magic. We'd been best friends for years, inseparable, living in the vibrant city of Austin, Texas, where the energy was as electric as our connection. Our relationship was more than just friendship. It was filled with excitement, adventure, and endless laughter. Lily had a way of making everything feel special. We'd share secrets late at night, travel on spontaneous weekend trips, and talk about our futures like they were written in the stars. But as the years went by, something began to shift. We both got busy with life, but I noticed Lily's enthusiasm starting to wane. She became distant, and I didn't know how to fix it. Then came the one night that changed everything. We had just come back from dinner at our favorite cafe, the Sunlit Bean, a cozy little spot we always frequented. Lily seemed off, quieter than usual, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. I asked her if everything was okay, but she just brushed it off with a smile and said, "I'm fine, really." But I could tell she wasn't. The following weeks were harder. Our conversations became fewer, and the laughs seemed forced. It wasn't the same. I kept wondering what happened to the vibrant, lively Lily I knew. She wasn't the same person anymore. One evening, after weeks of barely talking, I tried to bring up the tension between us. I sat down next to her on the couch, nervously twisting my hands. "Lily, what's going on with us? You've been shutting me out lately, and it hurts." She didn't meet my eyes, instead fiddling with her phone. "I'm just tired. I don't know. Life's just been a lot." I could feel my heart sink. "But we're supposed to be able to talk about everything. What's really going on?" Finally, she looked at me, and the coldness in her eyes made me shiver. "Grace, I can't be what you need right now. I don't even know who I am anymore, let alone how to fix this." It was like a punch to my gut. How had we gotten here? How did the bond we had, one that felt unbreakable, suddenly feel fragile, like glass ready to shatter? As the days turned into weeks, things only grew worse. I kept trying to reach out to Lily, but it felt like I was talking to a wall. I'd suggest doing something fun, but she'd always decline, citing exhaustion or work commitments. I tried everything: dinners, trips to the park, even long walks under the stars, hoping we could recapture what we once had. But no matter how hard I tried, it felt like Lily was slipping away, and I was powerless to stop it. It was one evening when I decided to confront her once and for all. We sat in the living room, the space between us feeling like a vast canyon. I tried to hold back my tears, but they spilled over anyway. "Lily, I don't understand. You're pushing me away, and I don't know why. You used to be my best friend, my partner in everything. Now, I don't even recognize you." For a long moment, she said nothing. Then, finally, her voice broke through the silence. "Grace, I don't know who I am anymore. I've been feeling lost for so long, and I don't know how to find my way back. I thought that if I just kept pretending, it would go away, but it hasn't. I've been trying to hold on to you, but I feel like I'm drowning." Her words hit me harder than I could have ever imagined. It wasn't just that she was withdrawing, it was that she was drowning in her own pain, and I had no idea how to save her. The woman who had once been full of life and joy now seemed so broken. It tore me apart to see her like this, but it also made me question whether our friendship could ever be the same again. Then, one day, things took an unexpected turn. I came home to find Lily packing her things. The sight was like a slap in the face. "Lily, what are you doing?" I asked, my voice shaking with confusion and fear. She looked at me, her face unreadable. "I think it's time for me to go. I need space. I can't keep living like this, in this limbo. I need to find myself, Grace. I have to figure out who I am, away from everything. Away from you, too." I stood there, frozen, watching her pack her life into boxes. The room felt suffocating. I didn't know what to say or do. Part of me understood that she needed to go, but the other part of me couldn't bear the thought of losing her. "But I don't want to lose you, Lily," I said, my voice cracking. You're my best friend. We've been through everything together. Please don't leave me. She paused for a moment, her back turned to me. When she finally spoke, it was with an emotion I had never seen in her before: regret, pain, and a deep sadness. I don't want to leave you, Grace. But I think this is something I have to do for myself. I can't keep living for other people, even if it means breaking your heart. And with that, she was gone. After Lily left, everything felt different. The apartment that had once been filled with laughter, long talks, and the occasional quiet comfort of simply being together, now felt empty. I tried to fill the silence with work, hobbies, and spending time with other friends, but nothing seemed to fill the hole that Lily left behind. It was the hardest thing I had ever done, accepting that our friendship might be over. I spent the next few weeks in a haze, moving through life but never really feeling alive. The grief of losing Lily felt like a weight I couldn't shake off. Every time I thought of calling her, I remembered the pain in her eyes when she left. She needed space, and I couldn't force her to stay. One evening, after weeks of barely hearing from Lily, I got a message from her. It was simple, just a "how are you?" But it felt like a lifeline. I hesitated for a moment before responding, unsure of where we stood, but I decided to reply honestly. "I'm struggling, Lily. I miss you. I've missed you so much." A few minutes later, her reply came. "I miss you too, Grace. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I've realized that maybe I made a mistake. But I needed to figure out who I am outside of our friendship. I needed to be okay on my own first." Her words filled me with both relief and sorrow. Part of me was overjoyed that she hadn't completely closed the door on us, but another part of me knew that we could never go back to how things were. Time and distance had changed us both. Weeks passed, and we started talking again, slowly. We were both different people now, changed by the time apart, by the challenges we had faced. But somehow, through all the pain and confusion, we began to rebuild our connection. It wasn't the same as before, but maybe it didn't have to be. One day, we met up at the Sunlit Bean, the cafe where we'd spent countless afternoons together, talking about everything and nothing. This time, it wasn't just the two of us. Lily had brought along a new friend, someone she had met during her time apart. I tried not to feel jealous or insecure, but it stung a little. We talked for hours, like no time had passed, but there was something different now. We were both more cautious, more aware of the changes in our lives. But as we sat there, laughing about old memories, I realized that we could never go back to what we had before, but maybe that was okay. Months passed, and Lily and I continued to navigate our newfound dynamic. We had both grown, both healed, and both learned valuable lessons along the way. It wasn't perfect, and it wasn't the same friendship we once had, but that didn't mean it wasn't meaningful. I started to realize that maybe this was how things were meant to be all along. We had both changed, and the truth was, our bond was stronger now because we understood each other more deeply than ever. We could talk openly about the challenges we faced, the mistakes we made, and the new paths we were forging in our lives. One afternoon, we met again at the Sunlit Bean, this time without the weight of expectations. We simply enjoyed each other's company, chatting about everything from our favorite books to our hopes for the future. It felt easy, natural, and more like the way we used to be, just two women sitting in a cafe, talking about life. Lily had come to terms with her need for space, and I had learned that sometimes, letting go is the only way to heal. I had stopped expecting her to be the person she once was and started accepting her for who she was becoming. And she had done the same for me. A few months later, I moved to a new apartment in the heart of Chicago, a vibrant city full of possibility. I threw myself into my work, built new friendships, and rediscovered the joy in being alone but not lonely. And when Lily came to visit me, it felt like the first step toward a new kind of friendship, one that was honest, supportive, and without the pressures of the past. We didn't know what the future held, but we were both okay with that. For the first time in a long while, I felt at peace with where I was. Life had a way of teaching us that sometimes, the most painful endings lead to the most beautiful beginnings. I smiled as I sat in my new apartment, looking out at the skyline. Lily's message popped up on my phone. "I'm proud of you, Grace. I think we're both exactly where we need to be." And for the first time in years, I believed her.